Hello and welcome to another well side-by-side video. We're up to 40,000 miles in this little Yaris GR Sport now. It's 2 years old, January 2025. And I thought, instead of doing a 40,000 mile review, we'd do, should you buy one of these cars? Now they're beginning to filter onto the second-hand car market, because the oldest of this shape now is going to be 4 years old. Are they worth buying as a second-hand car? What are the pros and cons of owning one of these? How practical are they? And are they reliable? And we'll answer all the questions in the video. Right, the first thing with the Yaris Mark IV, this particular shape of Yaris that came out in 2020. In the UK, you can only get this car as a 5-door hatch, as shown here, or you can get the all-singing, all-dancing 2-door GR Yaris. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're on about the hybrid only 5-door hatchback that you can buy in the United Kingdom. And it comes in a few different flavours. This one is a GR Sport. So it's on the sportier side of the hybrid Yaris. Then we've got the luxury one, the XL. Then the design, which is second up in the line. And it's the first of the models to get the LED headlights. And then you get the base model, the Icon. Them are the four main models that are now on the second-hand market. And what is the practicality of these cars like? How much room have they got in them? How much room is in the boot? Well, if we start in the front, we're greeted by a very, very nice cabin. This one's got the bucket seats in it, and they're very, very comfortable, but it doesn't matter which model you get a nice interior, you get nice trim, and they're very, very well put together and very practical. And everything is just Toyota. It just works. They're ergonomically very, very well designed. So from a driver's perspective, everything just falls to hand. Everything is so easy to operate. I've only got one bugbear with the interior, and it's to do with the shiny plastics around the gear lever. They mark and scratch very, very easily. That's the only thing I've got against the interior. It looks phenomenal, it looks really good when it's clean, but it does mark very, very easily. So you are going to find a few scratches on plastics when you get them second hand. That's not just the Yaris, that's all modern cars. Anything that's got this material or the gloss black they use. The gloss black's even worse than this grey colour. This isn't as bad as the gloss black, but the gloss black is terrible. Practicality, you've got nice big door pockets. Mine are full of junk. Door pocket on both driver's door. You've got nice big handle for closing the door. Door handles easily accessible. Power windows, everything. They're just well laid out. There's lots and lots of kit in these cars. There's lots of safety stuff in these cars. There's lots and lots of airbags and steering wheel, pillars, seats, airbags under you that are meant to go off to protect your legs down there. They are very, very well designed and a very safe car. There's somewhere to throw your phone. It fits in there quite nicely. Keeps your phone out of the way. One of the cup holders is absolutely useless. I will admit to that. Because it's underneath the armrest. Which is why I leave my charging port in there. And just use the one cup holder. So, in the front, there's plenty of room. Very, very practical space. You get a glove box. It's not very big, but it's a glove box. It's better than nothing. Multi-adjustable steering wheel, goes up and down, in and out. All driver's seats get height adjustment on them. Only the higher end models get height adjuster on the passenger seat, but it's not a deal breaker. Now, where they do get very tight, these cars, is the back door doesn't open very far. Trying to get a baby seat in the back of one of these is a little bit of a tight struggle. It's doable, because you do have Isofix in the back on both sides. And I'm 6 foot tall. That seat's in my driving position. Admittedly, I've got junk in the car. I've got Margaret's crutches with me. It's a little bit tight in the back for me as an adult. Now, that's Margaret's seating position. You're not getting another adult in the car behind Margaret. You get a child in there, but you're not going to get another adult in the back of this car. It's a little bit dark and gloomy in the back. It's not somewhere I'd actually like to travel. Because black roof lining, black everything really. But it's one of them. It's pays your money, takes your choice really. You do get a cup holder in the back door. Mine's full of receipts and Chinese food menus. This one's got electric windows, one touch on the back. That again I think is only XL and GR Sport. Apparently there is enough room for 3 people in the back, being as the seat belts for 3 people, but personally I wouldn't want to entertain 3 people in the back of one of these. 3 kids maybe, no problem. A little bit tight in the back. The boot. There's no point showing you an empty boot, because my car is on the road every single day of the week, and it's a working car. So there's always something in the boot. Impact gun, socket set, the drone's in here, there's a scanner in here, my swimming gear's in here, there's shopping bags in here, there's fast food Chinese delivery bags in here. It's full of tools, it's full of junk. But yeah, it's a practical, well-sized boot that you can get an awful lot of junk into. Get a week shopping in there. We've been away on holiday in it. Loaded the boot, no problem. I've got full-size spare in this, so I've actually got a flat floor when I put the seats down. But if you've got the space saver, there is a gap. There's a step about that much when you put the seats down. Again, not a deal breaker, but it's a practical space. I'm just telling you it as it is, as somebody that's owned this particular car for nearly 2 years. But it's not my first Mark IV Yaris. I had a Dynamic in September 2020, so 4 years I've been driving around in one of these cars. I wouldn't have bought the second one if I didn't like the first one. That's what I'm saying to you. Right, let's have a look at the little 3-cylinder 1.5 that powers all of the hybrid Yarises. It's there. There's a lot going on under this bonnet, but there's nothing to worry about under here, because they've got 10-year warranty, 100,000 mile on them. And that's transferable to the next owner. But what service items you do need to get to and check are very, very simple. The fuse box, the air filter, 1, 2, 3 spark plug coils with plugs underneath, dipstick for the oil, coolant reservoirs are visible, brake fluid reservoir is visible, screen wash, another fuse box, radiator cap, radiator coolant expansion tank. Everything is visible and easy to check when you open the bonnet. Open the bonnet, check that's got coolant in it, check your screen wash, check your brake fluid. Good look around the car, underneath the bonnet. Bob's your uncle, that's your weekly checks. Leave the rest to Toyota, let them look after it. But nothing's going wrong under there, as long as you service it. Right, what does go wrong with these Yaris hybrids? Well, the big one is the 12-volt battery issue that everybody makes such a big deal about. The 12-volt battery lives inside the car, and it lives under the seat, under a panel here, and it's quite easily accessible. But that's where it lives, if anybody's wondering. It's a very, very small battery with not a lot of capacity, and they have a habit of going flat. And then you come to the car and the car will do this. It'll tell you it's starting, it'll go through its boot up screen, and it won't start. That's what they do. I've just put mine into accessory mode now just to show you what's going to happen. They won't start. It's a fault that's actually overblown. Toyota are aware of it. I've actually had the 12 volt battery issue with this car, and Toyota did replace the battery under warranty with the upgraded battery. They are aware of it. But it's not a deal breaker, because it's not just a Toyota problem. It's a modern car problem, and it happens to lots and lots of cars, not just Toyota Yaris hybrids or any of the hybrid range. It happens to lots of cars. If you don't use a car, there's still things turned on in the car. There's still drain on that battery. So if you're not putting power back into it, the battery will just deplete. And that's all that's happening. It's simply the fact the battery isn't big enough. So that's that out of the way. The other problem that is being reported is cracked windscreens. Again, it's an issue Toyota are aware of. There was a batch of windscreens that were faulty, and they're prone to cracking. And Toyota will replace them free of charge under warranty. I'm lucky that's not happened to me on either of my Mark IV Yarises. I've not had the windscreen problem, but it is another issue to be aware of. But it's not a deal breaker. It will get fixed, and it will be done under warranty. Other than that, these things are absolutely bomb-proof. They don't go wrong. They just don't go wrong. So there, we got what? I'm nearly 2 years old, 39886. And this car is used for courier work. That's why I've got so many miles on it so quickly. I wouldn't keep buying a car of the same brand if I didn't know it was going to work for me every single day of the week. A car for me has to be ultra reliable, and if there is a problem, it's in, it's fixed, and they give me a courtesy car. That's how good my dealership is. My dealership experience is extremely good, but it does vary from dealer to dealer. That's all that goes wrong with them. Windscreen, 12 volt battery issue. And I will also say, you get the odd person complaining about the discs grooving up. That's an original disc on original pads. I can show you pictures, in a previous video, of a 2-year-old GR Sport like this one, with less than 4,000 miles on it, that sits most of its life, and the discs are grooved to heck. Because the gentleman lives by the sea, the discs are rusty, he goes out in it, the pads pick the bits of rust up and they gouge the discs. Doesn't stop them working, it just looks horrible, but that can happen. So that's reliability. They're bomb-proof. But the last thing I'm going to say on the battery issue is, would you rather a 12 volt battery going flat and just leaving you stranded whilst you either get your jump pack out or get somebody to just do you a jump start to get you going, or would you rather have an engine explode? Peugeot PureTech engines with the wet belt, Ford EcoBoosts with the wet belt. That's more inconvenient having an engine blow up than a 12 volt battery going flat. That's all I'm saying. They are mega reliable. Right, so what is one of these Yaris Hybrids actually like to drive? Let's go find out. Like I said earlier on in the video, this one is the GR Sport, and it is on the sportier side of the handling. It's on big wheels, it's on 18-inch wheels, and it's on 225 40/18s tyre size. It's got GR tuned suspension, springs, shock absorbers, anti-roll bars, and it's very firm. That's this particular car in this particular trim. A lot of you won't like a hard riding car. There are alternatives. Icon, Design, XL. They ride a lot nicer than the GR Sport does. So what I would suggest is trying different models. I wouldn't just go out and say I want a GR Sport, because you might not like the ride. It's as simple as that. It's the only downside with the GR Sport. It's a hard riding car, but some people do like a car that rides sporty. The option is there. Tota's giving you the option. Now the best selling model in the range is actually the Design, and there's a good reason why it's the best one, because it's got everything trim wise, equipment wise, that you will ever want in a car.
Maggie, what's that audio?
Hiya Mag.
How you darling? You alright, sweet?
I'm alright, yeah.
You in your shed?
No,
Are you Blackie?
I'm not in Blackie, no.
Oh.
I've just been to Betson Roast. Well, as you probably gathered, we've got hands-free calling in the car. They've all got it in. Depending on model, it's either tethered to the phone or there is a charging dock, and on the newer ones you've actually got a Bluetooth connection as well. Right, we were on our little drive before Margaret rang me. We've just done a little bit of country lane where I was just explaining how hard the suspension is on the GR Sport, and it might not suit everyone. I'm just going to do a little bit of A road and give you some impression of the car, and then I'm going to fire it up a very large hill up a mountain, and then we'll come to a conclusion at the end of the video. Do you buy a second-hand Yaris Hybrid or do you not? Probably hear how crushy the suspension is on this car, and this is a main road. This one, there's no body roll on this, and to be honest, whichever one you ride, a Design, an Icon, an XL, they really do handle very, very nicely. They are a nice handling car. Now this is something that worries a lot of people. Climbing big steep hills. And this is a long steep hill. You can probably hear the engine, it's kicked on. It's not intrusive, it's not a noisy engine. It's just there, humming away in the background. Yeah, these later Mark IV hybrid Yarises have got such a refined powertrain. The whole system just works perfectly, and you wouldn't know half the time whether you're driving on electric, whether the engine's helping. Like now, I've just come over the brow of the hill, we're back on the flat, and the moment I come over the crest of the hill, the engine turned off, and we're back on the electric powertrain. It's such a nice powertrain. The transmission, everybody calls it a CVT. Technically, it is a constantly variable transmission, but it's one of, if not the best transmission on the planet. It is so smooth, it reacts to every input that you put into the car. It's not mushy like an automatic transmission with a torque converter. It is a really, really well set up powertrain. It works really nice. Right, let's go and wrap the video up with the big question: do you or do you not consider a Yaris Hybrid as your next car, or possibly a second-hand purchase? Let's go and find somewhere quiet to park. Right, so let's conclude this video. Is a Yaris Hybrid worth purchasing as a second-hand buy? Or even if you're in the market for a new car, is it worth purchasing? Personally, if it was me choosing, I'm going to say yes. Because this is the second one I've had, and the second one for a good reason. That legendary Toyota reliability. But definitely put it at the top of your list if you are looking for a super mini. But please do your research. If you're looking at Fiestas, Peugeots, Vauxhalls and cars of that ilk, of the same size, seriously find out which engines they've got fitted to them, and if it's got a pure tech in it, if it's a Peugeot, a Vauxhall or a Fiat or anything like that. Just walk away from it. You've got wet belt issues. You've got the possibility of an engine going bang. If it's a Focus, a Fiesta, once again, you've got the dreaded EcoBoost wet belt that will, not maybe, it is definitely going to cause you problems, and that car will definitely go bang. So these, if you can live with some of the impracticalities of it, like the slight lack of space in the back, the bit of the dreary cabin, the minor 12-volt battery issue, the minor issue with the windscreens occasionally cracking, that is worth considering, and they are worth buying, and you won't regret it. They are that good. Right, thank you very, very much for watching this, what is a 40,000 mile review, and should you buy one of these type of reviews. And before anybody says anything in the comments about all the junk in the car, this is a working car that spends 6 days of its life on the road doing courier work. So yes, I've got gear in the car. I've also got tools in the car. I carry a lot of stuff in this car all the time. So yeah, excuse the fact that I haven't emptied the boot just to do this review, because if I'm going to do a review, I'm going to show the car as it's being used. This is my car, this is how it gets used. Just accept the fact. There's tools in there, there's a drone in there, there's impact guns in there, there's scanners in there, there's delivery bags in there, there's all sorts in the boot. Oh, and we've got Beethoven in the back of the car, but that's by the by. Accept it for what it is. It's a used, high mileage Yaris Hybrid. Definitely worth considering. Thanks for watching.